Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, Ava makes a move on Ryan. We've got Laura doing some cold calling over there in Canada. And holy cow, Sam almost gets that tramp stamp. We're going to break it all down next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, break it down now, break it down now. It's the GH Report on AfterBuzz, breaking it down for you right now. Hey, everybody. I'll be touring. I'll be sending out my concert release dates at the end of the episode, so catch me live. Oh, boy, that was terrible.
I cannot.
Welcome back to the GH Report. This is the show that looks at all the latest shenanigans happening there in Port Charles. I'm Frank Moran.
I'm Carla Renata.
And as always, folks, like us on Facebook. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Carla has got her iPad up and running, which means the chat is up and running. She's already been chatting with you as we've been waiting to get inside to the studio here. So keep it coming.
Yes, let's shout everyone out, shall we? Hello to Annie Goen, Dulamon, Tom Clev, Kelly Public Cover. Let me see. Joe Costanzo. Hey, Joe, I forgot to shout you out before. Loretta. Stuart Pierce. I said Dulamon. Dolores Leach. Hold on, I'm scrolling. Andrew Blake. And I think that's everybody. If I didn't get you, I shouted you out in the chat room. So welcome back for this edition of the GH Report at AfterBuzz TV.
Woo! Look at that, so official. And folks, you know, if you've been following Carla on social media, you saw her many appearances. Not just on the GH Report or her Curvy Critic show, but you saw her on Superstore, you saw her on Fox LA, breaking it all down. Carla is blowing up all over the place.
I don't know about all that, but I'm trying to make that money.
What do you mean you don't know about that? I saw it happen. That did happen. Those are things that actually happened.
No, they actually happened, but I'm not blowing up all over the place. But I do admit, this episode of Superstore was probably the most dialogue I've had in the 4 years I've been on there. It was very exciting.
And now it's coming back for another season. They're ready to go.
I know, and everybody was excited for me. People were like, isn't that the most you've ever said? I'm like, yes, it was exciting, wasn't it? I was very excited. I was like, ooh, they gave me a son and everything. I got family members. I'm like, Janet might be around for a while. But
see,
you know.
It's always got to be nice that you plan to play in a character for a few seasons, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I have all this backstory I didn't even know about.
And that little boy, if I didn't know any better, I would swear he was related to me. He was very cute. He was a very cute little kid.
Well, I mean, to me, to really fully go in depth for the role, you've got to take him as your own son now, right?
Say what now?
You have to take him as your own son now if you really fully invest in this character.
No, he got a mom and daddy. I'm good with that.
Well, all right, fine. I guess you just want to be a mediocre actor, but that's cool.
Oh, let me just shout out one other person. Enrique Galvan says he listens to us every day on his way to work, and thank you. You're welcome, Enrique.
Wait, every day, Enrique?
He said every day on his way to work.
So I like to think that Enrique plays this show on loop. He just listens to it once and plays it over again. And if that's the case, Enrique, holy cow, do I love you. But please, if you'd like us to do a fresh show for you every single day, let us know. Because Carla and I, we'll get together every single day and we'll just blab about the latest episode. Just for you, Enrique. We'd be happy to do
That's not going to happen. But anyway.
It's not? Oh, because Carla's blowing up on places. No. She can't blow up with me.
Oh, stop it.
So before we dive in deep into everything that happened this week on General Hospital, overall, Carla, what did you think?
Well, I was glad to finally see Christina get up, see the light, so to speak. But I have to, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but again, it was a little bit of a slow burn week. I mean, usually when they have those really big storylines like Oscar dying and stuff like that, it's usually a little slow trying to pick up the momentum. But toward the end of the week, they did pick up the momentum with the Laura and Curtis going to Canada storyline, the Jordan storyline, and the Kevin and Ava storyline. So it did pick up steam toward the end of the week. But, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, part of Thursday was like, womp womp.
Well, let's dive into probably the biggest thing that I know a lot of people are probably excited about, as was I. Our boy Jack's back in the house.
Yes, I enjoyed having him back, and I'm interested to know how this is going to play out for Carly, because Carly seemed like she was happy he was back, but Sonny was not looking too thrilled, especially when he said he was going to move close to them in Port Charles. I'm like, But I'm kind of glad he's back so he can be there for his kid. That was her losing Oscar was a tremendous loss for her, in addition to losing her grandma quite some time ago. So, and there were some lovely scenes with them reminiscing about Lady Jane and singing a little song that he was singing to her when she was a little kid. Those are some really nice tender moments between them, so that was cool to see.
I'm a huge fan of Jax, and the only thing that I didn't like about his last couple of appearances that they were just too short. And then it's still the way that like Sonny got him thrown out of the country. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, that was foul. Wasn't that foul?
That was foul. So at least they've seemed to kind of reach at least some sort of kind of peace accord between the two of them. But I mean, he does say, as you're saying, he's going to get by Kate's house. Looking to try to stick around. And I'm hoping this means that Ingo is going to be around for a longer run.
I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. And remember, for a minute, we thought that, speaking of people coming and going, we thought that Robert was gone. And then they keep punking us with that. Like, they make it looking like he's going to leave and then he comes back. I'm like, okay, what y'all doing?
No, that's fine. Give my boy Robert Scorpio more to do. I'm down, absolutely down with that.
I'm totally down for it. But what I really love about that storyline is the fact that him and Anna had that moment, because for a minute, he's been kind of treading on the edge, been real light and fluffy and all of that. But his little horns started to show this week, especially in regards to Finn. There was that moment that they had that fight about her and finding out whether Peter really was her son or if it was a memory implanted by Alex. And they had that disagreement with that. And then she was like, I don't want to know, leave it alone. And he was like, wow. He had that moment where Robert Scorpio literally was like, wow, I thought we'd always have each other's back, and then brushed past Finn to leave because he realizes now that he doesn't have a hold on her anymore and that Finn now has a hold on her. And that bothers him, that he doesn't have control over manipulating what she thinks and what she does and how she says stuff like he used to, because he had a little bit of a hold on her, mostly because of Robin and because of their past relationship, and now that's being threatened, and he's not happy about that.
It is interesting to see what they're doing with Robert there. I mean, it was certainly when we see his running with Laura, which it was finally nice to see him running into Laura, because in all this kind of bouncing in and out of Port Charles,
right,
he hadn't really crossed paths with her for the longest time. So it was nice to see that. Even invites her to the nurse's ball. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be around. Sorry." I'm like, yeah, it's a shame that we're right now. The nurse's ball is coming, folks. It is coming.
And Lucy Cole lets us know every episode. I'm like, oh my God, if she mentions the nurse's ball one more time. Speaking of Lucy, so then there's all that drama with Lucy and her cozying up to Scott and trying to get him. Why is somebody always trying to recruit Scott for shenanigans? First it was Ava and now it's Lucy. And she wants to recruit him to help keep Kevin and Ava apart because she's believing the lie about them being together. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be like. Because whenever Lucy does shenanigans like that, it's always pure comedy, excuse me. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's, she basically just teased it up for Kevin and Ava to do something together at the nurse's ball.
Yeah.
We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. I mean, to see John Lindstrom perform would be nice.
Yeah, and let me just back up for 1 second. So this ring, so Robert has been purposefully holding on to this engagement ring that Finn showed to him, and then what happens? Robert leaves it in the cafe, and who finds it?
Your boy Mike.
And I'm like, what's gonna happen with the ring now? I don't understand. And then you get the impression that maybe he's probably gonna go back over to the home and try to get his girl to give it to her. Like, you don't know what he's gonna do. But he had that little smirk on his face when he opened up and saw that it was a ring. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen with this ring? Is this boy ever gonna get a chance to propose to Anna? Probably not.
No, because it's gonna be on that woman's finger. Can't take it off.
And who got money to be going around buying multiple engagement rings? I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, if anybody does, Finn does. I mean, he's making some sweet money off of that cure that he invented.
That made me laugh. I laughed out loud at that. I'm like, okay, what they gonna do with that ring? It was funny.
So, trapping it with Jax being back. He said he was planning on sticking around for a little bit, and it also ties into just one thing that Drew had mentioned to Curtis. When it comes to Jordan and her kidney. Mm-hmm. And Drew says, hey, I'm about to come into doing a business transaction, coming into a lot of money. I'd like to pay for this procedure. Speculation is going around that it possibly could be that Drew is selling his company to Jax, and Jax would be taking it over. If that turned out to be the case, would you be interested in that?
No. I feel them trying to do something with Drew, to make some kind of sense out of his character now that the whole Oscar storyline has run its course, but I don't think that that's the way to go.
It's...
Do you?
No, I Drew is such a character that is just so up there in limbo for me. I just don't know I don't even know how the writers feel necessarily about what Drew does, because we really haven't dived deep in him on anything. I mean, I feel like the most that we got to see of him was when he thought he was Jason.
Yeah, and then they brought the real Jason back. They brought back Steve. So I feel bad because Billy Miller is a really, really gifted and talented actor. And I think they want to keep him there. They're just struggling. The writing team there is struggling with how to keep him there and what's going to be the most effective way to keep him there storyline-wise. And I think they're really struggling with that, or at least that's the way it appears to me.
Yeah, but it's also like they teed up his history to be so intriguing. He's a Navy SEAL, that he's been on all these kind of black ops missions and stuff. So there is a rich backstory that if you wanted to dive into that and pull into the present, for people that he's done wrong or crossed and they're coming out and doing revenge, you could, and yet we just have him sitting there at Aurora Media, and we really don't even get to see him really do much at Aurora Media anymore. We've not really seen him do much at all.
We haven't seen him at Aurora. I can't even say that. AM. We haven't seen him at AM in a while, but they do keep throwing these nuggets out every once in a while through the mouth of Shiloh. Every once in a while, Shiloh mentions Drew and their past together. And even when Kim went to visit him to talk about Oscar, he brought it up again. Did Drew happen to say anything? And so you're wondering if maybe Drew has something to do with Donna Day and he doesn't realize it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They keep dropping those nuggets and hinting at his relationship with Shiloh, and even Shiloh keeps hinting at this relationship that's a little bit more in depth than the audience knows at this point. So I don't know.
Of course, Kim goes over to Shiloh at Donna Day, just to touch base a little bit with Oscar and stuff, and they start talking a little bit. And Shiloh does want to start talking about Oscar and her, and it does mention about Drew again, because they had already talked once about the memories. And Kim, it says, oh, yeah, no, I really don't have anything. The only thing he left me when he took off was a CD of some songs, which made me think, wait, is there more on that CD that we don't realize?
That's what I'm saying. They keep dropping these hints and dropping stuff that's making you go, what's up with this? I'm not quite sure. But what I did love about Kim going to visit Shiloh, though, is that she made it crystal clear, I am not here to seek your guidance.
No.
She was like, I'm not here for those shenanigans, so don't even try. She kind of cut him off and cut him to the quick. She was like, no, we're not doing that today.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Kim, go in, girl. It was hilarious. That made me laugh.
It's, our good old Donna Day storyline. We see Christina. We see that whole big thing that we've been leading up to last week is we got to get Alexis and Sonny over to the safe house to be able to have this official therapy session there with Christina, and we bring in Willow, and Willow breaks it all down. Do you feel like Willow was convincing, or was Christina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They broke Christina.
Yes, I feel like when Willow. Because Willow went from beginning to end, she broke it down. She broke it down between the history of her and her mother, how they met him, how her mother was, seeking some type of spiritual guidance or some type of spirituality type of life, and she happened to meet Shiloh, and she was all in. And then once his attention started to shift from her from her mother to her, and the whole thing about him. When she said he put his mark on me and turned around and pulled that shirt up and showed that branding, I think that moment right there was a pivotal moment for Christina. Because when that camera was on Christina's face, she looked mortified. She looked like, oh my God, he's branding people like they're cattle. That's the look she had on her face. And I think it was Willow's story that made her go, I'm not doing this. But and for a minute I thought she wasn't buying it when she showed up at DOD. When she left the house after they got her out of the safe house and she went back to Alexis's and everything was looking like it was starting to move forward away from DOD for Christina, and then Christina went back over to that house. I was really afraid because there was that moment where she was standing in front of the door and he was popping off at the mouth saying whatever he was saying. Yes, Christina, I hope that the doors are always open for you, blah, 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 blah. And she stopped in front of that door. And I was like, if this doll does not go out the other side of that door, I'm going to reach through this TV screen and punch her in her throat. Like, I just was like, I'm going to need you not to fall for that. I'm gonna need you to move past this at this point. And when she opened the door and she bounced, I was like, "Ooh, thank you." I was so relieved. I was so caught up in that moment of the soap this week. The whole that interchange between Christina and Shiloh, and the interchange between Christina and her mother and her father when she came back. And I love the fact that when she came back, she didn't lie about where she was. Like, she straight up said, yep, I went by Julian's and then I went by Donna Day.
Yeah, but she also did lie, which is my least favorite thing with Christina.
What
I was
did she
really
lie about?
hoping that we would have something, a different Christina coming out of the tail end of all this. And
Yeah, no, it's not going to be a different Christina. It's going to be the same as Christina.
Because she goes over there, to get that pledge that she made, because she sells Alexis down the river under that pledge. And when Shiloh doesn't give it back to her, instead of going back and saying, guys, everybody knows there are pledges exist, because Willow says, like, tells it exactly what that pledge is all about. So I don't know why Christina instead doesn't just come clean with them and say, Mom, I gave him a pledge and it has this information.
Well,
why?
they know that she gave him a pledge, because everybody that goes there
but
has
they all
to give
think
a pledge.
But they all think it's Sunny.
They think the pledge is about Sunny.
Yeah,
they don't know it's about Alexis.
Yeah, and I don't know why Christina doesn't just come back. And if she's honest about going to Donna Day, why doesn't she continue to be honest and say what the pledge is and what it's all about? Instead, she does like the Christina old. She deflects. Oh, I'm not feeling so well. I'm really tired. I got to go. And that's like, come on, not this again. That's my least favorite version of Christina.
I will give her props for at least saying where she was, because she could have just told a big ginormous lie, including not fessing up to where she went, because she was gone an extremely long time, and they knew it didn't take that long to travel to Charlie's, have a conversation with Julian, and come back. They knew it was not taking that long for that interaction to take place. So they're all freaking out, going, well, where is she? Why is she not back? Blah, 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 blah. And in the middle of that, here she comes, and then she fesses up right away. No, she doesn't talk about the pledge, because they all know that there's a pledge. They don't know what the pledge is. And then I love the fact that...
Yeah, but they have never talked to Christina about her pledge at all.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
They have no. So that's why I'm not mad that she didn't say what the pledge was, because that conversation in the process of her deprogramming hasn't happened yet.
There is no better time now, when everybody is sort of so close together, on the same page, knowing all this, everything that's happening, for Christina to be absolutely honest about everything.
Well, it's going to come up. Like, it's now that we know he's taken the pledges and moved them someplace else, which they're probably in. What's the other place that they're in?
Beecher's Corner.
Beecher's Corner. They're probably in Beecher's Corners is where they are. So because Sam, and then that was the other thing. I'm like, I'm not buying that, and I'm about tired of Sam being up in DOD now. So she's up in there. She's going to do a pledge thing, and then she deflects. Do you really think that Shiloh didn't hear them talking? Like, he wasn't drugged up. He was just knocked out, and they don't know how long on that floor he was actually knocked out for.
I mean,
They don't know how much, right? But they don't know how much of what, they don't know how much he actually heard before he started moaning and groaning and coming back. And how much do you think he's starting to catch on to the fact that Sam? Do you think he's so wrapped up in Sam and enamored by Sam that he thinks that she's not up to some shenanigans? Don't you think he's starting to catch on now? He moved the pledges, because every time he turned around, she's up in the hallway, and she always had some excuse for why she was there.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true. I would say, it is interesting, because I feel like he knows there's something off with Sam, and yet he's still too drawn for her to, like, he's got both things happening. He's like, something's off, but I'm just too deep in this girl. I can't let go. Mm-hmm. So both sides are kind of biting him.
He's creepy. I think he's going to end up dead.
My interest in the storyline is getting close to it.
I think he's going to end up dead, but this is the other thing. So if he ends up dead, first of all, I don't think it's going to be Jason that's going to bump him off. It might end up being Sam. I think it might end up being Sam that bumps him off. And then as he's bumped off, we still don't know where these pledges are. And we don't know who has the pledges. And he may have made arrangements. Yo, something might happen to me. If something happens, I'm going to need you to just like blow the whistle on everybody.
I feel like he's not going to get bumped off until we figure out what Drew's piece in all of this is. What's this big thing that Shiloh's so worried that Drew's going to remember, or there's still some sort of evidence?
Yeah,
or
Drew definitely has
around.
some dirt on him. We just don't know what the dirt is, and that's why he was trying to finesse and very charismatically lure some information out of Kim, because he knows that it's whatever this is, he knows it's dirt that he's got to get to before Drew remembers what it is. That's why he went to visit him in the first place. Remember?
Oh yeah.
In a long time ago, when he first came onto the scene, the first person he went to visit was Drew, and we were like, why is he going to visit Drew? Like, what's up with him and Drew? Like, it was at the time, it seemed like such a random friendship, Shiloh and Drew. Like, it was random. And why was he coming to visit him? Like, it's one thing for you to know who he is, but every time we turned around, Shiloh was all up in Drew's face making some kind of little snide, sneaky remark.
Yeah, I wish this storyline was involving Drew more than what we've had him be involved with so far. I mean, I know that he had the Oscar storyline going on as well too, but I mean, we see Jason juggle multiple different stories that he's kind of at least even a little bit involved in. They will bounce him around to all of these. Like, let's get Drew a little bit more involved in the story.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat room that Christina's secret is that she saw Alexis kill somebody.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen that pledge. I mean, it was all written up, so we know what she saw. But the fact that she just doesn't tell Alexis, like, this is the deal, just so
she will.
I will give her one more shot.
If we go to another scene, I'm gonna give her one more chance to come clean.
That's it. Otherwise, I'm like, get out of here, Christina.
And then they're saying that Shiloh knows for sure that Sam is faking. He knows that he just knows he's reeling her in for real. Okay.
Wait, he thinks he's reeling her in?
Let me see. Dulamon said he knows Sam is faking. He just knows he's reeling her in. I don't know about that. And then Dolores says that Sam could actually be falling for him. I feel that too. I feel like there's a part of her that's kind of attracted, because she's always attracted to somebody that's wrong for her, which is one of the reasons why she was attracted to Jason.
Yeah, but I mean, once you find out that he is drugging and then having sexual intercourse with women that aren't of full mind.
I'm telling you, with the way they've set her character up, it makes total sense to me that there would be a teeny tiny part of her that would be like, ooh, I know what he's doing is kind of wrong and skanky and weird and busted, but there's something about him that's kind of hot. Like she's that chick. Like, Jason was running around killing people and doing all kinds of shenanigans, but that didn't stop her from bopping him. And then somebody said that it's going to be Willow or Harmony. Yeah, people are saying that they think that Shiloh might be bumped off by Willow or Harmony.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's certainly been a while since we've had a good old murder mystery on GH, but I don't know if...
Yeah, a whole 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, if there is enough...
Oh my God.
Enough characters that we really, truly care about that could be considered prime suspects for this murder.
I mean, other than the obvious. I mean, Willow, for the reasons that he keeps torturing her. He keeps, unceremoniously popping up and torturing her. It might even be Chase. Like, he might catch Shiloh doing something to Willow where she can't get away or something, and Chase might end up, killing him. There's so many, just like with the whole Ryan Chamberlain situation, there's so many people that could be suspects and bumping him off that it literally could be anybody.
I don't know.
I mean, Valerie, it could be Valerie because he's messing with, Brad and Lucas, and even Brad, and I'm busting. Brad, which brings me to Brad. Brad is talking to everybody else about his business except for his husband, to the point where his husband goes to Julian and is like, why is he talking to everybody else but me? because you are the person that's going to kick him to the curb if you find out what the secret is. Everybody else knows what the secret is. You're the only person that don't know. That's why he's talking to everybody. And I think that's what, if Brad gets to the point where he actually gets to do a pledge, that's going to be the pledge.
You think so?
Yep, I do. He's going to make that pledge confessing about that baby, and then that's going to send Shiloh back up in Willow's face yet again.
Ugh. I really don't see, once we get to the end of this, I mean, it is only a matter of time before we figure out that Wiley is not Willow's kid. That kid's dead.
Right.
And that's really Michael's kid.
But Brad knows that. That's
yes.
what I'm saying.
So when that happens, though, I really don't see how Brad and Lucas make it through that.
No, they're not going to make it through that, because Lucas is going to be like, dude, it's a wrap.
I just, as much
Lucas
as...
is not going to tolerate that. And especially after he had been lying for months and months and months, and then he's going to figure out, oh, so this is why you were so nervous all the time. This is why every time especially Willow, every time Willow showed up, that you would have a nervous breakdown because you knew what the truth was, but you decided not to tell me the truth. But in telling him the truth, then that would make him... an accessory to not kidnapping, but an accessory to something that's illegal. Because basically, Brad has that child illegally. It's not his kid. It's not the kid that he said it was. It was somebody else's kid.
Yep.
And it's Nell's kid. And that in itself is going to cause a whole bunch of drama. Because then you're going to get Sonny and Michael, and all of that's going to be involved. Oof. Speaking of Michael, don't you love how Nina got shenanigans? Nina was all up in Willow's face telling her to stay away from Michael because she wants him to hook up with Sasha.
Oh, brother.
I'm like, girl, mind your business. Why don't you worry about what Valentine is doing? Why don't you worry about your own husband? Worry about your own backyard and leave theirs alone.
That's true.
What you doing?
To jump back to Brad and Julian for a second, because Julian knows that Willow's the adopted mother.
Yeah.
But Julian does not know that that's really Michael's kid.
No.
The only people that know that are just Brad and Nell.
Yes.
And, oh, man.
It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. I'm telling you. Because when Julian finds out, he's going to feel some kind of way. Lucas is going to feel some kind of way. And I think when they probably are going to play it out the way that Lucas finds out, he's going to immediately blame Julian because Brad was always going and whispering to Julian. So he's going to assume that Julian already knew, but he doesn't.
Put yourself in Lucas's shoes. You find out that your significant other has lied to you about one, the baby that you thought you had has died and has been replaced by your cousin's baby that you've been having for at least a year, say. Could you ever forgive your partner for doing that?
No.
Is there any way that you could see to that, like, even if they explain their point of view, it's like,
no.
oh my gosh, this baby died, and I know how much you wanted this baby.
I have been in relationships where people have lied to me, and I'm like, it's a wrap. I'm done. No. I remember I was in a relationship with somebody one time where I would say that my birthday was really important to me. I'm like, if you miss my birthday, it's a wrap. And what did they do? They missed my birthday, and then tried to call me the next day to plead their case. I'm like, what was the first thing I said to you? If you miss my birthday, it's a wrap. We're done. Bye. See you later. Have a good life. Boom. I have no patience. None.
Wow.
So if that's what I would do about my birthday, imagine what I would do about somebody lying to me. Nope. Can't do it. Because if you lie to me about this, then you'll lie to me about something else. It'll always be something else. There'll always be some excuse for why you told a lie. And I'm like, I can't live like that. Life is too short.
No, that's true. I mean, if you've already said the benchmark there, lying about a baby, there's pretty much, I think you pretty much be comfortable lying about almost anything else. Folks, before we hop on to the next topic, though, I want to give you a big thank you for watching our shows and helping us become the ESPN of TV Talk. Not just Carla, myself, and Carla's shows that she does here, my shows that I do here, although Carla's are much better and everybody loves Carla. Nobody cares about mine.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true. But thank you so much for enjoying our shows. But we also are asking for a little bit of help. So we're asking if you can, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, when you get a moment, give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you're listening or watching, get involved in the conversation by leaving a comment. Carla loves reading these comments here.
I really do.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for giving us a chance to do the shows that we love to do and that we can share our enthusiasm and passions with you as well. So continue to watch and enjoy our shows.
So Kelly Public Cover and Aisha are saying that, well, Kelly says that Julian does know that that's not the real baby. And Aisha says Liesl knows. I'm not sure.
That's true. Yeah, Liesl knows. That's true.
And so they're, and we haven't seen Liesl or Valentine in a while. Where are they at? Did they go on vacation?
Liesl's writing some new article for.
Did they go on vacation? We ain't seen Valentine in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what Valentine's up to.
Are they making him scarce until they bring the new Nina in, you think?
I don't know.
Because we've seen her by herself, but we haven't really seen too much of her with Valentine.
I'm hoping that the reveal of Sasha not being Nina's real daughter is going to happen while Michelle Stafford is there.
I hope so too. That would really be busted if they do that with somebody else.
It would just be nice to have her kind of give you that big explosion, and then you can see the follow when Cynthia Warthus comes over. But yeah, I don't. If James Patrick Stewart, I'm sure he's got vacation that he wants to take.
Look, everybody need a vacation every once in a while.
Would you have been like Sam and let yourself get tattooed? Because it wasn't for Jason coming in to clunk him out.
I'm needle phobic, so no. that would have never. If I was up in Dawn of Day and they started talking about tattoos and drills, I'm like, yep, I'm out. See, you gotta go. No way, Jose.
But I think Shiloh, that's the way that she's sucking Shiloh in is like, I don't need to take this drink because I want to experience everything.
Yeah, when she said that, I was like, I cannot.
He was all for it.
And he was like, yeah. He was doing way too much in this moment. But something I did want to address real quick is Jordan's kidney. For a minute, they thought that Kevin was going to be a match. And then they found out because he's pre-diabetic that he can't be a match. His sugar level was too high.
But that means Ryan is.
That would suck. Wouldn't that suck? Him and his little hand coming back trying to give a kidney. And would Jordan take it if it was Ryan's?
Wouldn't you?
I don't know if I would.
You think it'd be an evil kidney?
No, not an evil kidney. It's just the principle of it all. Like, I would have to make that decision. Which is more important? Me taking this kidney from somebody I absolutely despise, or me checking out because I can't find a kidney? Like, that's a huge dilemma. And it's a real one. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I would take that kidney.
I would contemplate it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it. I'm not saying that I wouldn't take the kidney, but there would be that moment where I would have to think about it for a second, and I'm sure that moment is going to happen for Jordan too.
Man, I can't imagine anybody saying, you know what? No, I'll pass on that kidney.
Who do you think is in that house though? When Laura and Curtis get to that house in Canada, and there's all that mail piled up on the side of the house. Who do you think is in that house?
I would like it to be Ryan, but it's not going to be Ryan.
Like, I wonder who it is, though.
I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be some no-name actress that we don't care about. The one thing I wanted to ask, speaking of Laura and Curtis,
you're like, some no-name actress we don't care anything about. That's so cold. That was so cold and nonchalant. Okay.
Laura and Curtis's trip. They head up to Canada to try to track down Ryan. They're talking to all these women that may have helped him get medication. But we also see Maxie and Peter. They get on a plane flying to Paris.
Yes.
And
run into Curtis and Laura.
They turned around? Then they ended up in Canada?
That's what I'm saying. How did they end up in Toronto? Because I thought they were supposed to be in Paris.
That's what I thought too.
So then she says, "Oh, look who I ran into," and I'm like,
I know, but that happened. I was like, "Say what?"
I was like, "What is happening right now?"
And maybe I missed it when Peter said, "Oh, okay, we're gonna instead of going all the way to Paris, we'll just turn around and go to Canada."
No, he didn't say that.
No.
He never said that.
Because Maxie said, like, no, I don't want to stop this trip. Let's keep going.
Yeah, he never said that because they had that whole moment where they were talking about that one restaurant that they liked, that they both had been to, and what that would have been like had they run into each other at that time as opposed to now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, so they really are going to go to Paris. Okay. And then she says, I'm going to run downstairs and get some lingerie from that shop. So I'm like, oh, they are in Paris because I don't know any hotel that would have a lingerie shop downstairs in the lobby unless it was France. Yeah. Right? Okay, I'm just saying that was a stretch. That's a good catch.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm sure somebody in the chat may be able to explain that.
They're in the chat room going, yeah, that was confusing.
I was so like, what's happened?
And then somebody said, well, maybe the plane had some bad weather.
I guess. And Peter's just like, no, this is really Paris, Maxie. It's just really snowy and hazy. You can't see the Eiffel Tower from here. But we're in Paris, I swear.
Oh, my God. Enrique's like, I can't with Peter. I'm like, Peter's starting to get on my nerves, too.
What is it, though, with Maxie? Like, she goes downstairs. She knows, like, what the deal is. She's going to go get some lingerie. She doesn't want to be in flannels for the first time getting it on. And I don't care, like, how much snow is going on or whatever like that. Why are you inviting people that you kind of know from Port Charles up to your room to hang out? Like, hang out in the lobby.
I think she knows Laura pretty well.
Hang out in the lobby.
Go
to the bar.
She knows Laura pretty well. Curtis just happens to be with Laura. And she's like, oh, Peter's here. Why don't you come upstairs? I'm like, wasn't y'all trying to get your groove on? Why are you inviting people up to the room? And even the look on his face was like, really?
And she's holding a little bag from the lingerie shop. Laura should have picked up on that. Saying,
his
thanks.
face was like, are we really doing this? I laughed. That was funny.
Oh, come on, Maxie.
That was a very funny moment. That was pure comedy.
Oh, yeah, what are you doing? Get it together. The one thing with the Anna and Robert thing, to kind of go full circle, so we're talking about the Peter thing, I felt like the conversation where Robert says, do you ever think that maybe it's the Peter memory is the false one? The fact that Anna never once thought of this, now the whole time that he was thinking she was thinking about Robin, like, I sat there thinking, like, why are you not even addressing this? So that when Robert brings it up, it seems like such like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right. Like, how did that never come up until that moment?
I have no idea. Again, an epic fail.
That was.
An epic fail, just like the plane ride that was supposed to be going to Paris and it ends up in Canada. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was just weak manufactured drama with this whole, like, is Robin really my daughter? It was like, why waste our time on this terrible plot?
No, and the other thing that was funny to me is when there's been all this back and forth of Maxie going, oh, I don't know if Peter likes me, blah 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 blah, and then he calls her and says, I want to talk to you, and she's like, yo, I'm getting my nails done. It's gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening right now? Like, you're sitting here the whole time getting your nails done, whining about Peter, and then he calls you and is like, yo, let's hook up. And you're like, I'm getting my nails done. You can wait a little longer. That made me laugh out loud. I'm like, that's just crazy.
Now, speaking of a little possible love connection, we had been teased back when Brittany was playing Valerie that there was that connection between her and Christina. Now we've got the new actors playing Valerie, and we see their first real interaction this week.
She looks like she's 12.
I guess
Christina looks like she's 12 against the girl that's playing Valerie. I'm just like,
not working for you?
No.
It is.
Is it working
bummer.
for you?
No, it's just not.
And I love the girl that's playing Valerie. She's really good. But them trying to put her with Christina, it's like, I can buy them being best friends. I can't buy them being romantically involved.
And that's such a shame because I was really excited about that storyline.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think that's happening.
Man, folks, we're getting close to wrapping up that time. Holy cow. It's, we're just going to have to move on. No news and gossip today, guys.
There's no news and gossip? What?
Well, I mean, we've got like little bits and things like that we get there.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We talked about Jax being back here, and of course, if he's going to be sticking around for a little while at least, we can't just have him hanging out and being single. So the question is, who do you hook up Jax with on this canvas right now? So the thought is, well, if we're getting into some marital strife between Nina and Valentine, especially if the Sasha thing blows up, could we see Nina hanging out with Jax and maybe getting
that would be a nice
connection?
Little pairing, especially if it was Michelle Stafford.
Well, I know we'll miss that, but I mean, we'll have Cynthia Watros there. So
Cynthia Watros is cool, so that might work out well.
Because I really couldn't think anybody else that on the canvas.
No,
you could hook
everybody
up
else
Jax
is taken.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't have.
There's Ava.
Oh, Lord. That would be drama. Well, Jax is no stranger to drama. He was involved with Carly, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could see a Jax and Ava pairing.
But that's what would make it interesting. Because we don't see it. You know what I mean? Because we, as fans, we're like, I don't know. And then they put them together, and those are really two exemplary actors. Baby, it would be fireworks all day long.
I feel like
You're not feeling it?
I feel like the next time you do something with Ava in terms of some sort of romantic situation, it's got to be one that kind of sticks, because we've seen it with Hot Doc, and that kind of blew up in her face, and then we've got everything that happened with Morgan before that, and then we had stuff that happened with Ryan. So I feel like the next time it's got to kind of stick. Sort of like I felt like with Franco It's got to
Yeah.
stick, and it is with Elizabeth.
Oh, let's just talk one quick second about that moment where Ava leans in to kiss Kevin, and he acted like she had the measles. He jumped up off that bench so fast. I was like, oh. He said, if you try it again, I will shut this down. And she was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, Ava, my girl.
But, I mean, I can understand where she's coming from because, I mean,
I totally got
Yeah.
it. I totally got where she was coming from. I totally get it. But they all said going into that little hatched plan that was going to be something that might possibly happen. And she assured everybody that it wouldn't. And then look what happened.
But I like Kevin sticking to it. It's like,
He stuck to his guns. He's like, I'm in love with Laura. You tried it again, I will shut this down. And he
Yeah.
bounced. I was like, ooh.
there you
Well,
go.
okay, Kevin, stick to your guns. Let her know. Let her know that you are a loyal
That's right.
somebody.
A loyal somebody.
A
What
loyal,
better
I was
way
about to say something else, but I can't say that.
You can say it. We'll just beep it out.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. Thanks for watching, folks. We really mean that. It means so much to us. Follow Carla because she's got all these great things happening. Don't follow me. I got nothing going on. I'm just going to be drinking this water. But as always, folks, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody, for hopping into the chat. Carla, I love seeing all your comments, so keep them coming. But if you want to stay in touch with either of us after the show's over, Carla, where can they find you?
Hello, you can find me across all social media platforms at The Curvy Critic. You can catch my reviews at Rotten Tomatoes, or you can go to my site, thecurvyfilmcritic.com, and of course, you can catch me right before the GH Report at Black Hollywood Live with my film show, The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
There you go. And look for next season, Superstore. We'll be seeing Carla
Season
back with
5,
her,
Superstore, NBC.
with her son in tow. Can't wait. Folks, like me on the Twittergrams there at Happy Go Jackie. Folks, we'll be back here next Sunday with an all-new episode of the GH Report right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Deuces.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.